to the Highland Park Spotlight. I'm your host, Keisha B, and I am so excited to be with you guys this new year. I hope you've had a wonderful holiday. Your Christmas was great, your new year was amazing, and we are back live in the studio because I know y'all was used to seeing me in the other room, but we're back in the studio and it feels good. So today is the top of the year, right? And of course, I had to bring back one of my favorite people here in Highland Park, who is the mayor of Highland Park, Mayor Glenda McDonald. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back. I'm always excited to come and talk about Highland Park and talk about what we're trying to do, what we did, and you know, all the beautiful things that's happening. I always call it the great city of Highland Park. So when people address us, I want them to use the word great from now on because it will be, it is, and it was.
Well, amen to that. That's a mouthful right there.
That's a word.
It surely is. We can preach on that. So, speaking about accomplishments and things that's happened here in Highland Park since your tenure, what achievements are you most proud of?
Well, one is definitely public safety. Public safety has been increasing since we've been here. We have hired a complete fire department of full-time employees, which
That's
we already talked about
awesome.
before. But that's good because that means that on every staff, every shift, there's enough firefighters to be out there fighting the fighters, fighting the fires. Excuse me, and then also the Highland Park Police Department has been actively seeking new employees, new full-time employees, as well as reserve officers. And we had just had in December, we just had a hiring fair. And
Yes,
so
that was
there were some
awesome.
good candidates, good people coming out today. I have an interview with one of them. So I'm hoping and praying that there's some more that will be going to the academy and already is certified with MCO, so that they can join the greatest police force in the state of Michigan. I'm biased, I understand, but our guys and girls are working. They're out
Yeah.
there doing the job that they were hired to do, and we're looking forward to bringing on more staff. It's important because if we're fully staffed, if we have the police officers and that we need, then the public safety goes up. I'm also proud that the police has cut crime in the city by 40%.
Oh, wow.
And so since under my administration, which we know still 40% is not 100%, but it's a start, and we're looking forward to that. Uh, the greatest one is the water. Of course, I know people are still reeling and frustrated about their bills, but the one thing they don't have to worry about is that levy being put on their taxes and causing a trickle down effect of people possibly losing their houses. The big levy of $58 million.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment, and we're still working on it. We're still working with the state. We're still working to improve, and the water department is still working with MISTA
Okay.
and others to get these capital improvements under the ground, the ones in infrastructure. And so, with that being said, I'll leave it right there. Then I'll tell you about what's going to happen with that.
Awesome. So, how has the community responded to these accomplishments and what lessons have been learned along the way?
Okay. So there's been some good response and not so good response, and that's expected.
Yeah.
With anything, there's a whole lot of sometimes there's a lot of glitch, and so the glitches are mostly in the water department, where we're trying to make sure that GLEWA and MISTA and Highland Park work out those glitches of getting these meters under the ground. So
Absolutely.
that's part of what's coming up. And as far as some of the glitches with the police department, it's trying to get candidates. We got to be competitive with all the other cities around. We'll get some, then we'll lose some, then we'll get some. But most of the ones that we have graduated, which we had two since I've been here, two, three, four new candidates that have graduated from the academy who have passed the MCO certification and is now working for the city.
That's
And
awesome.
so that in itself is an improvement. It's really big.
Yeah. And I know that during in the times of dealing with those things from the past, especially like the water, right? That was a huge issue that loomed on the city for years, right?
Lots of years.
Lots
Yes.
of years. And it kind of put a bad stench on Highland Park, so to say,
Yes.
right? Because other cities were engaging and not necessarily understanding the whole process.
Yes.
And so with that, trying to rebrand and trying to change the narrative with Highland Park, how are you going to do that and balance the history while moving forward?
Okay, so good. I'm glad you asked that. Engagement is important.
Okay.
And I tell that to everybody. You have to be engaged in the process. And how does that happen? Well, we have multiple meetings. Of course, you have chat with the chief. If you want to know about the police department, you can go to these meetings and chat with the chief. Tell him whatever you feel is going right, whatever you feel is going wrong, so that he can look into what we can do to improve on those things. All right, or be pleased that you're happy with the services of the police department. Same with the fire department. They have community engagement pieces, not as often as the police department, but they do have their community engagement person. Firefighter Arnold, who goes out. They're engaging in all of the processes or any events that might happen that requires resources. And then it's also coffee and conversations. And I'm excited because I'm going to go back to I had stopped the 5 o'clock coffee and conversation, but I'm going to go back to that 5 o'clock coffee and conversation, and so that citizens can start coming out. It was, you don't have time for the right time anymore. Well, you saw that it was starting to dwindle.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to go back and revisit that, and I'm going to revisit it in a way that it's going to alternate from 10 o'clock one month, 5 o'clock the next month, 10 o'clock, so that I don't be running back and forth trying to make sure, and so people can come out and we get more different people involved. The engagement of community people helps to move the city forward. That's just it. It helps to move the city forward. If we don't continue to engage and get involved, then you don't know what's going on.
Right.
And so I'm trying to do as much as I can. We're going to be running some good stuff this year, and again, we'll talk about that in the segment where
Okay.
got some questions.
So, what message do you want the rebranding of Highland Park to send to current residents and potential new businesses or visitors?
Well, the message is that Highland Park is on the move, and Highland Park is growing, and we really want to see some exciting, innovative, renewable, futuristic
Oh yeah.
ideas. We definitely want to engage our young people because we have to rebrand the city and make sure that it's a 10-year vision for future generations. We have to. A city doesn't survive without new generations coming into it.
Right.
So when we're looking at the whole picture of Highland Park, we're looking at our seniors, we're looking at our millennials, we're looking at our Gen Zers, and now our alphas. And I think they just said something about babies being born. Now it's called betas. So this year, this generation of babies is called betas.
Okay.
And so, that they'll be 10 years old, of course, betas, but the alphas will probably be close to their 20s, in their 20s. And so that's the generation that we need to start looking into of, hey, let's see what we can do for them, and include and be very inclusive with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the biggest thing is people feel, oh, well, there's things for this age group, but there's nothing for this
This,
age group. And so how can you make sure that every group is being served in a sense?
well, that's where you get the input of the community. You make sure you're surveying different age groups. Okay, of course we're not going to survey the betas. They ain't talking yet. But even the alphas, I think they're like they may be 12, 13, 14, something like that. There are some they want to see something in their community. It might be recreational, it might be entertaining, entertainment, it could be educational. Whatever it is, we want their input. We're going to be putting out surveys to different generations. We're going to have focus groups
That's good.
for different generations, just to talk about what they don't see and what they would like to see. Yep.
Okay. I like that idea of the focus groups. So I know we have the We Are One.
Community.
We Are One community. There's the Return to Excellence, the City of Trees. With the rebranding, what's going to be the
Well,
look?
we're working on that. We're working on that name, but basically the focus will be to building for the next generation. So we're going to work on what that looks like, what the concept will be. You know, that's why we want to do the focus group. So once we get all the information, the data, we can put it together, and then we can rebrand according to what we see.
Okay.
It's important.
Awesome. So looking ahead, because we talked about the rebranding. So we know that there's a vision in place, right? You said innovation. You said futuristic. And there's fears about that, right? Because everybody is like, oh, I don't want too many changes because then I don't feel at home.
Right.
Looking ahead in that time period, what is your vision for Highland Park? What are some of the things you would like to see over the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, so we're looking to do walkable spaces, making sure that our seniors are able to go out and enjoy outside spaces and be a part of that. We're also looking to make sure that we are building a infrastructure that for technology that continues to develop as changing. Technology is always changing.
Oh yeah,
always changing. And so we want to make sure that we have a grid. We want to make sure that we're doing infrastructure that meets those needs. We are looking to bring about for our younger people entertainment complexes or areas where they can enjoy themselves and enjoy themselves safely.
right.
We making sure that we have the public safety that is there, passing through in some form of fashion, moving, whether it's on bikes, whether it's walking, whether it's driving through. So that means that our police department is now going to be looking to train police officers in various divisions of the public of policing. And so those are kind of the things that we need to put in place. We need to make sure that every citizen in this city is engaged in some kind of way. I don't want just having, because we have a senior department,
Right.
and our senior department definitely is doing their thing, and they're making sure and they're trying to get people out to events at the rec center or either going into the buildings. And I've been doing that now for 2 years of meeting with the seniors inside of their buildings. But we want them to come out.
Yeah.
And one of the difficulties that we find is getting them out to events, and they feeling comfortable in different spaces, not just at the rec center, not just in their building, but if we have a park they can come to, we can come and have some events going on in the park, we want them there. You know, if we have an event going on in a building, an entertainment venue, we want them there. So that's what we're trying to do, is to make sure that everyone in this city feels comfortable in a space, that they feel like they're welcome, they feel like that they can contribute to, you know, the development of it and the growth of the city.
Okay. With that in mind, you said walkable spaces, so it made me think about the Joe Louis Greenway. What is the response as far as the Joe Louis Greenway coming into the city?
Well, people are excited. They're excited. They, you know, like I said, a walkable space where now they can go out with other people walking through, riding through, or whatever's going. They might even have some businesses along the way, small businesses on the Greenway that they can participate with. So from what I'm hearing, and from what our person who represent us on the board, that it's an exciting time for Highland Park. It's an exciting time. We've had prospective business owners reach out. It's like, you know, the Greenway is coming through. What are you guys looking to do with that? So we're developing and we're ready.
That's awesome. Do you know how long it'll be before it's done?
I was told 2026.
Okay, so next year.
Yeah. At one time it was supposed to be in the summer of 25. But now I'm hearing that it's probably closer to spring of 26. But I can always get that information from our person that sits on the board.
Okay. Do you have any insights about the city's approach to improving its public image and perception outside of the community?
Yes, I do. I'm glad you asked that question, Keisha B, because you know, I'm Highland Park all day, every day, 24/7, 365.
Yep.
Right? Every day. I barely leave the city. People ask me, it's like, I don't ever see you at, I work in Highland Park. I live in Highland Park. I play in Highland Park. You know, I know that I should get out a little bit more, but this is where I live. So, yes, definitely. The vision for us is definitely to just, we want people to come and say things about Highland Park that is actually true.
Right.
Which actually, you know, sometimes we don't get. Even from, and I hate to say it, the media, you know, they're doing better. Let me just say that. I've made it a point that you have to, you know, you can't keep reporting things that's just detrimental to our city. You need to start reporting things that are important and happy. And so we were very proud of that. WDIV and Karen Drew and the Michigan Chronicle came together and did the piece on, you know, 24 hours in Highland Park. That kicked off a significant inquiry from other media outlets, from business owners, everybody. They got a chance to see a glimpse of Highland Park. And yes, we know that there's things that needs to be improved, and we're working on those. And trust me, there are some good things going on, and that will be coming to fruition within the next year or two, depending on, you know, which one it is.
Depending upon which one it is.
Yeah, it all depends on where it goes. Yes.
All right. So, community engagement is a big piece. Having the residents more involved, having them come out. In what ways do the city involve the residents in the decision-making process? And I'm sure there's plans to expand those efforts to get them to come out, but what are some of the ways that the city is involving them?
Well, again, like I said, we have all these different meetings where we get input and where we can take that input and come back and create ideas and spaces and places for them. We have an advisory board for the youth. Okay. You know, engaging them, trying to get them more involved. They have been coming out, but we want to do more than just entertainment visions for them. We want them to be an active part of, you know, letting us know what's going on. What do you want to see going on? Um, Whether it involves, like I said, education, crime, anything like that. What is your vision for helping this, or getting the word out, or getting the youth involved? And I've saw some people step up this past year. Um, Shout out to Kenneth Taylor. Shout out to the young lady that owns the beauty salon at Kiera. They all have gotten involved in putting out events and putting on events that directly involve youth. And so they're doing pretty good. They're pushing forward. They're trying to come together. What I would like to see is people collaborating, though, and it's just not these separate entities, and that they start working together so that it can be bigger and better. And they are really doing a great job on those kind of things. It's important that our youth lead. And I want them to lead. That's what I want to build. I want to build leaders. I need to build for the next generation. Because
Right.
let's just be honest, we all ain't about to be around here a long, a long, long time.
Right.
And so we have to have someone who can continue to jump into those spaces and take the helm and lead our city into the future of Highland Park.
Okay. I know the youth. They're a hyper bunch. I like to say.
Yeah, well, just they
I'm no longer in that youth
I ain't
category.
gonna say different, but I will say that they are in a league of their own, and you have to embrace that.
Absolutely.
As long as they're respectful, and but that's what we need. We need new ideas. We need people who want to jump right in, dig deep, boots to the ground, making things happen. And I see that we have those young people here in Highland Park. It's just about making sure that they know that they're welcome and engaged.
So I know that everybody has ideas. Everybody has inputs, right? Some are good, some are
Not so good.
not so much. But how do you deal with I don't want to call it adversity, but how do you deal with because you can't please everybody.
And that's factual.
You can't please everybody. So when trying to make the best decision for the city, how do you deal with those that oppose the decisions that are made?
As long as I'm doing the best I can for the city as a whole, not individuals, but as a whole city, and making decisions and doing projects and doing anything that would benefit everybody in the city in some form or fashion, whether it be your taxes be not going up, because now we have more tax money to disperse because we got people coming into the city. We're building for other folks to come in. The more money we generate, the more things we can do.
Right.
So that's beneficial to the whole city.
Right.
And that's how I make decisions. Also, I make decisions based on what is written. If it's in the charter or if it's in the ordinances, my job is to make sure that I follow those. And that's what I do. Sometimes it's not pretty. People don't they get upset about it. But that's what I was elected to do.
Right.
And that's the mayor's job. And a lot of people don't understand that the mayor is the person who enforce the laws. Make sure that we are, whatever's on the books at this time, whatever is on the books is what I have to go by.
Right.
I can't change them. I can't rearrange them. I can't do it specifically for one person. I have to do what is in there for everybody. And if people come to realize that, then they'll understand a lot better how the executive branch of government works.
Okay.
So that's basically it. I just have to, whatever decisions I make have to be for the good of all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have to take a commercial break. But when we come back, I got way more questions. So I just gave her the look. Like, we got more questions. So we are going to take a quick commercial break, and when we return, I will continue talking with Mayor Glenda McDonald about the city of Highland Park and the vision and the things that are yet to come.
Your radio is now on TV. Your TV is now on radio. WHPR 88.1 FM can now be heard and seen worldwide. The same platform that hosts all of your favorite content now has WHPR TV and radio. Have your own radio or TV show on Roku with approximately 8 million homes. Debut your music video, clothing line, church ministry, plays, or products. A limited number of slots are available, so act now. For more information, visit RokuDetroit.com or call 313-868-6612. You heard about it. Now come be a part of it. Roku Detroit Worldwide. Approximately 8 million viewers.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. If you're living in a home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, the probate process can be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Claudine Jackson thought she had it all until she was faced with the challenges of raising an autistic child. Inspired by autism is her brutally honest journey filled with heartbreak and triumph. Get your copy and find the support you deserve today by visiting www.claudinejackson.tv.
Muscles, joints, or feet tired, achy, or distressed? Tried everything? Ringmaster Rubbing Oil is a vintage topical pain reliever, trusted for over 70 years, with a rich formula for the treatment of stubborn aches and pains. Packaged in a glass bottle for purity, our liquid can also be used in warm water for foot soaks and compresses. A little goes a long way. Try our time-tested formula, available in several sizes.
Make a donation to WHBR TV and receive two 2-ounce bottles of Ringmaster Rubbing Oil for $25. Call 313-868-6612.
Back to the Highland Park Spotlight. I'm your host, Keisha B. And if you're just now tuning into the show, you have missed the entire first half. And I'm going to tell you to check it on YouTube, okay? We are in studio. I am in studio with Mayor Glenda McDonald, and we've been having a great conversation in regards to community engagement, rebranding of the city, some of the new ideas, her vision. And so we're going to continue that conversation because I have way more questions. So,
I'm here.
Thank you again for joining me in studio this afternoon. But my next questions are kind of around upcoming developments, because I know that the city, you mentioned the tax base. So in order to grow the tax base, there has to be new developments that come into the city for people to pay taxes on their land so it can increase the monies that the city has to work with. So with that said, are there any exciting developments currently underway in Highland Park?
Well, yes. We have just recently, we've had two people close on the properties, which means that now they'll start the process of development.
Awesome.
And one is on the verge of closing. And then we have another one that we're waiting for to see when they, going to be ready to close. So there's a possibility of 4 new developments that are already halfway through their process of building. And so we're looking to, hopefully, we'll be able to have another project start this year on Woodward Avenue. We're looking to move a property, and if that property is approved by the city council to be sold, this would be something awesome for young people, and it has a lot of great. Let me just tell you, they got restaurants at the bottom. When you're talking to me, you had to talk about food. So,
food is the way to the heart.
As soon as when I became mayor, I don't eat exactly like I'm supposed. I do a lot of cooking, but
she could cook too, y'all.
I do a lot of cooking, but I don't get the chance to eat all the time. So whenever there's a meal involved or something that I can go pick up, and one of the spaces I understand is tacos.
Oh.
And so people know that I'm a taco connoisseur. And there's, a couple of restaurants. It's going to be a workspace opportunity, those type of things. And those are for the new generations, because they that's what they do, You can take your laptop, and most people are working from home, but they don't want to sit in the house.
Yeah.
Go rent you a space out in these new, shared workspaces and things like that. So, yes, we're continuously taking ideas. Our CED director is continuously vetting ideas and people who come through. Some make it through, some don't. But in order for us to do anything, we have to get rid of these properties and put them in the hands of people who will be paying taxes for them. And then, as you see, that would help with more DPW DPW workers, more police, more fire, more employees at the city, more opportunities to give out jobs to people who live here in the city. And that's something I'm proud of, because I have hired quite a few people. Either they have a Highland Park, they grew up in Highland Park, or they live here in Highland Park, And so I want to bring some of that back. I know we can't just hire Highland Parkers. We're hiring who's qualified.
Right.
But I definitely want to make it a place where people are now able to say, well, let me see if I can get a job from the city. Well, in order to get jobs, we have to have money to give out jobs, and without tax bases, we can't do that.
Okay. How do you see these new projects impacting the residents and overall community of Highland Park?
I think that the impact will be that we will be receiving tax base for these projects. Other impact will be jobs for the community. Housing for people to be able to come and, affordable housing. And different things like that. Entertainment, where they can actually leave their house now and go what we used to call back in the day up on Woodward. People, that's what we used to do. Anybody my age know what that means. Go up on Woodward, and you just walk and shop and eat and whatever else they had, going on. And so that's what we're looking to do, not just on Woodward though, because Hamilton is another prospect. Hamilton is prime development land, prime area. You have the Rocket Mortgage Golf Classic right across the border.
Right.
And then on the other side, going downtown, you can hit the freeway as soon as you leave out of Highland Park, go right around the bend, and you right there get jumping on the lodge to be able to hit downtown. So people are looking at ways to develop Hamilton, as we call the Hamilton Corridor. People are looking at ways to, I'm sorry, I have to sneeze, and I was trying to catch it. I'm sorry, y'all. Looking at ways to develop Woodward Avenue, and in between those spaces is housing. And how we can bring affordable housing as well as market value housing, as well as whatever kind of housing we need in Highland Park for it to grow.
Because I know housing is one of the biggest things that people want here, because there is vacant land and things like that, and so people want to see those developments. Are there any development projects specifically aimed at improving access to affordable housing or addressing those housing challenges?
Right now, we have quite a few affordable housing projects here in the city that are being remodeled and re-rented. But yes, one of the projects I talked about will include affordable housing, one of those that have closed on their property.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that would be awesome to bring some new people to the city. And the more we build, the more we bring here, and that's what we need. We need, we have schools. We want to see the schools grow. We want to see everybody saying they want a high school, but you got to have some people to fill those high schools. And so this is the way to do it, is to make sure that we got housing for people and they don't have to live outside the city or can't stay in their houses and have to keep moving. So that's where we're going.
Now, speaking of housing, because I remember having this conversation. It was with an elder. I can't remember their name, but it was just in regards to new houses being built, right? And in some areas, you see there's brand new houses being built in certain areas, and some people may be worried that, oh, well, they're building new houses to push us out.
No.
Or they're building new houses and now, the house don't look like it belongs on the block, or, it's those different things that came up. What are some of the ways that the CED department and yourself are kind of vetting to make sure that they're not building to push people out, but to help keep the community close together?
And that's an excellent question. I hear it also. It's
Okay.
I heard
the only one.
the dreaded G word, gentrification.
Right.
And we're building for everybody. And and what people don't understand, your taxes is built on the on when you bought your house and what conditions your house was in. There might be some maybe a slight increase, but there's no significant increases in taxes unless you do some remodeling to your home, upgrades, or that you sell the house and someone else takes over, or either you transfer it to someone else. And if they're a relative, and they're supposed to check a box that's on there, and then that stops it's called uncapping. And so we looking to make sure that all the aesthetics in the area, what fits in these areas. We have an area that we're looking to have developments in. A lot of that area has multiple units. And so what would fit there? Multiple units. You have single houses, you have duplexes, you have, multi units. And so one of the things that I told the CED department is we want to make sure that whatever we're doing fits the needs of the people in the community. No one is trying to push anyone out. Let me say that again, and I'm going to look in this camera. No one is trying to push any citizen of Highland Park out. We want you to stay. We want you to be here. Some of us have been here forever. I've been here 53 years. I don't plan on leaving, and I don't want anyone else to leave. So yes, we do need new citizens. Yes, we do need new houses because we have vacant land. But no, we're not trying to push anyone out of this city. The people that are here, we would love for you to be here. We would love to be right in the greatest city in the state of Michigan. I'm going to say that again. The greatest city in the state of Michigan. And so please don't start worrying, and please stop allowing people to tell you things. If you need information, if it's about your taxes, go to the treasurer. Go to the Treasurer's Department. That's who deal with the tax base here and taxes. If you need something about the elections and people are go to the clerk. The city clerk handles the elections. If you need to know something about what's going on in the city as far as CED, police, fire, DPW, any division of under the mayor's office, call the mayor's office. Because when people start to giving out stuff, they don't have all the facts. And so, no, back to your question. We want everyone in Highland Park to be in Highland Park for as long as they want to be.
Right.
And that's what we're doing, is trying to create a spaces to make sure that everyone is comfortable.
And plus, another thing too is that when properties come in, it helps to increase the property value around it. So,
Right.
I see a benefit in that as well. What role do local businesses and entrepreneurs play in the city's development plans?
Our local businesses right now, they making sure that their areas are kept and presentable to other people. Like, you might have a property next door to you, and they're looking to buy and build or do something, but your property is not being kept up. That kind of is discouraging. Like, I don't know if I want to be right here.
Right.
So if the business owners that's here are maintaining their business, cleaning up around their areas, I know it's a lot to do, but in order for people to want to be, you have to be. Let me see. You have to be inviting.
Yeah.
Your business have to be inviting. I've seen a lot of business owners now in the spring start hanging flowers outside of their businesses, cleaning up and putting out, decorative things just to come, so people will say, oh, that looks kind of quaint. That looks nice. Let me go in there and see. But I've also seen the other side of walking up to a business and the garbage is overflowing and the lots are, unkept. And so if you take care of that, it's guaranteed that somebody is going to want to buy that space or, build in that space that's next door to you, rent that space. And then here you got foot traffic. You got people coming. You want foot traffic. So that's what we need to do.
Okay. Are there any initiatives focused on attracting new industries or boosting the economic development?
Yes, there are. And unfortunately, at this time, I can't talk about it because we got this big branding coming and we got this big plans to reveal to the city what's going to happen as far as community and economic development. No, it is not a secret like that before people start saying, they must be doing something they ain't got. No. We want to make sure that when we launch these things, that we have all the pieces in place, all the people in place, and making sure that everybody hear it at the same time. So stay tuned. It won't be long. You will be hearing about what's to come for 2025.
Okay. Now, you hit back on the rebranding part. So I do have a question. Considering that Highland Park is built on such a historical and unique cultural experience, will the city leverage that as part of its rebranding efforts?
Absolutely. The historic values in Highland Park will not change. It will still be the historic values and venues and places and spaces. We just want to give them a little bit more attention as to, listen, Highland Park is not just this generation. We still have this generation. We still have these houses. And these houses, even though they're older, some of them are getting some facelifts inside and outside that when you walk in there, you look, well, okay, that's a historic home, but it look like it's right here in the 21st century type,
Yeah.
And so we want to continue that. We want to continue with whatever the areas are called for, whatever, that's what we want to do. We're not going to turn the city into this big Jetson looking future. No, there'll be none of that sky domes and all of that kind of stuff that I know of anyway. But
Okay.
it's definitely going to have that appeal, and it's going to appeal to most generations.
Okay.
I want it to appeal to all generations, but again, the babies ain't ready yet. That just happened. We're gonna get some cribs and put outside in the park. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
I had a question and it was right there, and then you said
I'm sorry.
Jetsons, and it threw me completely off.
I'm sorry.
Because,
Well, when you say futuristic, you gotta make sure you gotta break it down,
But-
because I don't want. Yeah, no.
like, honestly, when you think about the Jetsons, my mind went right there. So when you think about the Jetsons, they had the phones that you could look at the person that you were talking
Sure,
to, and we're there
and
now.
the doctor came on the screen, so
And we got telehealth now.
sure do.
So,
So,
it's
not a bad thing.
not a bad thing.
I'm just talking about sky domes. That's all. Go ahead.
All right, sky domes. But I don't know where that question just went. That question just
I'm
left.
sorry. I do have a silly side, and sometimes it comes out at the least expected.
Okay, so let's see. Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
So futuristically, thinking into the future, and on the horizon, what role does sustainability and green initiatives play?
It plays a big role. It plays a very big role. We're looking at solar. We're looking at, like I said, green spaces. We're looking at buildings, new buildings to have green spaces on, to absorb some of the water that goes into the ground, and it causes bills, for sewage and stuff. We're looking for all of the new ideas, just in a way that doesn't make anyone feel like they're left out.
Okay.
Like I said, we have some good plans. As you already know, we did a tour with DTE about, the areas where they took out lights. We also have some ongoing opportunities with Solidarity, and there's a group called Solatronics. And so we've been the talks are going on. Now we're at the stage where we're laying down the best laid plans, what makes sense.
Okay.
And those kind of times, because I know lighting is very important in the city. I know people. I was here when we had street lights. The street light was in, and I'm here now. And I know that is a serious issue because of the people. It's dark, and people are going to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. People are
it's
coming
pitch
home
black,
at, especially in daylight savings times, they're coming home at 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, and it's dark again. So trust me, it's in the forefront of my mind. It is. It's there. It's about how we get it done, and what do we do. And I am looking at all aspects of making sure that we can get lighting. There's conversations, and there's been an approval of looking at the library and restoration.
Ooh, that library
Yes.
would be nice.
Well, we've already had a MOU. A request to go for a grant. For something. So, yes, there's things going. They might not see it, but it's happening. And so, those are some of the things that we know is important to the people in this city, and that's what we're looking to hear. What else? We know the lights. We know the library. We got some stuff going on with the recreation department. We have a grant that's going to come. We have just received a grant, an award letter about a grant that's going to add some more stuff outside of the building, on the fields.
Oh, that's nice.
Cleaning up, the parks. We got a lot of partners that have adopted parks, and working towards making sure that those parks are kept clean, or those parks have new ideas for them. So yes, in these last 2 years, we've done some things. Now it's about making sure that people see them enjoy them, and be a part of them.
That's awesome to hear. Are there going to be any upcoming events or programs designed to draw more visitors to showcase the city's strength?
Yes, we're going to continue on with some of the ones that we had. Last year we had a citywide rummage sale. Oh my goodness, that was awesome because we had over 25 vendors or citizens come out, and there's been numerous activities that youth have been putting on. So we're gonna go. Our youth explosion is gonna happen, and we're trying to make that
Larger.
a big, large event, and we're gonna start planning it now, and so that we can be ready
Yep.
in the summer when it's happening, or it's right before school starts back, and we're gonna continue to come up with ideas that involve everybody here. Everybody, I'm looking forward to reconvening our arts and cultural commissions or
That's good.
committee, and that's one of the things that is in my mind now is to pull that piece together, and so that committee will start creating the ideas of the arts and cultural events that go on around here. It was always here, but it kind of fizzled out. So now we're looking, because I want murals. I want artists. I want murals. I want performances. We have a stage. It's a small stage, but we have a stage at the rec center, and we want to utilize that piece to have poetry in the park or jazz in the park. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of my initiatives to get started before the summer.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
I think it would be. I mean, a lot of cities have that.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a good reason, a way to pull people out. They can get free entertainment, enjoy each other's companies, things like that. I think that it's time for Highland Park to be a part of that.
Yeah, and it'll boost the morale too. Bring
Yes.
everybody together.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Because all the events that we put on, it's always a good time. We just had the Christmas party for the senior citizens.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always a blast because I enjoy. I'm not a senior because I don't get a check, but as
Not
soon
because I don't get a check.
that's what I tell everybody. It's like they was like, "Well, you are of senior citizen age," or as my daughters say, a woman of a certain age. But I don't receive nothing. I don't got no check. I don't got insurance. None of that. So until I do,
You're not a
I'm
senior
not a
citizen.
senior. Yes, I am. I love being a senior. But so I want to be out there enjoying those things. I want come bring your chairs. We had the National Night Out, and you saw how people came.
Yeah.
And they were out there, and they was just enjoying the music in itself, talking with each other, meeting new people, engaging.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's the goal, is to get people start back out and engaging with each other.
That's awesome. It's been a lot said during this entire conversation, and I am excited. But we're coming to a close of the show. But before we close out, is there anything that you want to say to the residents of Highland Park that are watching this show right now?
You know what? I just want people to know, if you need to know something, if you want to know what's going on in Highland Park, if you want to know about upcoming events or anything, we have a calendar. We do have a calendar. It's monthly. We have condensed it a little bit to make it a little bit more easy for people to read, things like that. It's a one-pager with everything on it, back and forth. But please call the city. Call the city. My executive administrative assistant is there now from 9 to 5 or 8:30 to 4:30. Please just call. If you don't get an answer, leave a message. I'm telling you, they're guaranteed to call you back. Ask the question. We'll get to the department, whatever it is that you're asking about. We'll get your answers, but you can't get your answers on social media. I have to put that out there because I notice it a lot, that people are putting questions that should be answered by the city administration on
Absolutely.
social media. And I'm not always on there. But if I see it, I definitely contact people. They can see that I contact them. But if I don't see it, then you might not get the answer that you're requiring. I do appreciate those people who do give directions and information on how to get the answers to those questions. They put it on there, call the city, call the police department, call the dog catcher. Here's the information. So I appreciate that. But what I would like for is that you just direct your questions specifically to the city as it relates to whatever you're calling about. That's the one thing. Other than that, let's have a good time in Highland Park. Let's enjoy the city as it grows. Let's start talking positive about it, because
Absolutely.
positivity brings positivity, and we gonna grow the city. Let's do that. That's all I want to do. And then after that, I want to sit and enjoy what's happening.
Well, amen to that. So she said positivity. So that means that there's literally power in the words that you speak. So let's
Absolutely.
continue to speak good things into the city of Highland Park, and we can reap the benefits of that. You have been watching the Highland Park Spotlight Show. If you have missed this show, if you're just now tuning in, I'm going off air. So here's what I want you to do. Go to the Highland Park YouTube channel, and you'll be able to find some of the previous shows, and this one will be uploaded as well. So make sure that you stay tuned, that you stay locked in with the city of Highland Park. There's some great things on the horizon. There's some great developments coming forth. There's some great things that's already taking place. So if you're here in Highland Park, just embrace it. Come out. Community engagement is huge, and as the mayor said, she wants everybody's input. So stay tuned for the focus group. Stay tuned. Come out for the coffee and conversations. Don't just sit at home. But if you have questions, come out. Come out to the chat with the chief. So make sure you're present and make sure that you're able to get all the information that you need in order to make the informed decision that you have to do as far as your living arrangements, right? So again, you've been watching the Highland Park Spotlight Show. I'm your host, Keisha B, and I will see you next time.